Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. Today, we're discussing a triple calendar chronograph with a moon phase and a very specific purpose. This is the Sinn Hunting Watch, reference 3006.010. Integumented satin finish stainless steel. You can see this unique hunter's accessory and purchase it on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this watch with additional accessories included in the sale, high resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for this Sinn Hunter's Watch reference 3006.010. This is a watch that hails from a company best known for pilot's timepieces, but if you abstract a little bit more, what Sinn is really known for is highly specialized instrument and tool style watches, and this is certainly that. Taking note of the fact that German hunting laws prevent nocturnal hunting with artificial lights, it is important to note per Sinn when a full moon is available, or at least when sufficient moonlight is available to hunt in Germany. And this watch gives you exactly that. With a moon phase that is fully luminescent, there will be a spectacular loom shot at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. In terms of fit and feel, you're going to hunt with a watch that's 44 millimeters in diameter, and you can see that's not counting the pusher adjuster at 10 o'clock, the crown, or the chronograph pushers. It's relatively sheer along its flank, and it's also relatively thick at 16 millimeters. So this one, of course, not designed to be worn with a suit jacket or a dress sleeve. Nevertheless, it does have one rather compact dimension that makes it wearable on a smaller wrist like my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. That's the 51 millimeter Lug To Lug dimension. Now you can see when I move away from the camera, you can see this one better to scale against my wrist. 51 millimeters Lug To Lug is very compact for a 44 millimeter timepiece. So this watch, in my estimation, can be worn on wrists as small as 14.5 centimeters in circumference with security and style. I believe that this is a very wrist-friendly, oversized timepiece. And it must be said that the watch is oversized with a purpose, with a large amount of information and useful information visible, all of it spread out over a maximized dial that you can see is pushed to the very edges of the 44 millimeter case. The bezel is almost like a trace or an outline rather than a physical structure. Now, moving to the flank of the case, we talk a little bit about how it fits and feels. We need to consider the strap as part of that equation, and the strap is a beautiful piece. It's a light brown calfskin with a massive sheer cut and a contrasting black stitch. You'll note that the lugs are relatively short and downward turned, and though they are drilled relatively close to the case to present a highly integrated look, very little, as you'll note, daylight between case and strap. It's because there is a small recess in the underside of the case. There's actually a little bit of a flattening of the case flank adjacent to the strap so that it can move without impediment, and there you can really see it to good advantage between strap and case flank. Thoughtfully designed, even in its most minute detail, this is a very clever watch. Now, the strap itself is buttery soft. It's wonderful to smell this strap, and if that sounds strange, this has a intoxicating aroma, the kind of thing you would smell inside a luxury handbag or custom-made goods inside a store that sells nothing but upscale leather articles. It is a wonderful strap. It's rare that I can say a leather strap is so fresh and distinctive that it actually has a sweet aroma about it. The buckle, like the case itself, stainless steel and satin finished. The entirety of the case is a satin finish to reduce the potential for glare, and the entirety of the dial, we can get a little closer now that we're not talking about the fit on the wrist, but the entirety of the dial is likewise matte finished. The case lines are simple. You can see tapered lugs and smart horizontals, satin finish that runs end to end, and the junction between the case band and the bezel. Again, a very minimalist bezel. You can also see that there's a little bit of a flourish between the lugs. Manufacturer of the case, and of course a vertical satin finish, as opposed to the horizontal finish of the case flanks. Turning the watch over, you can see crown chronograph pushers, and on the opposite side you can see a pusher adjuster that's used to make adjustments to the day of the week. What's important here is that it doesn't use the typical pusher adjuster that requires a dimple style tool. This is a available for actuation with your bare hands. So all pusher adjusters on this watch are accessible by means of your hands. You need no additional tools, and you can actually control the date and by extension the month as well as the moon phase using the crown. You may be wondering what this is. Well, this is neither a helium escape valve nor a pusher adjuster. It's actually a special capsule that's inserted into the flank of the watch containing copper sulfate, which along with special seals and argon gas are used to minimize the influence of moisture inside the watch. It's a trifecta of factors that's unique to Sinn, and you'll note the symbol for argon blazoned on the dial itself. Now the watch has a relatively crowded in the sense that there is a lot of information, but legible dial. So packing a lot of information without creating a busy aesthetic is really where this watch succeeds. Now you can see that there is a Rayhot or chaptering outboard for the radial date indicator, and since I did mention the quickset system, I may as well demonstrate it in action. The crown is a screw-down unit. The watch is 200-meter water resistant, despite being dedicated principally to land activities. And you'll note I can adjust the moon phase by turning in a clockwise direction, and then by turning counterclockwise, I can adjust the radial date, and you'll note that the month is keyed to the radial date, so you can advance both quickly. You'll also note that there is a 24-hour scale at 9 o'clock, and that 24-hour scale corresponds to the time at the center of the dial. It's not a dual-time watch, but it lets you know whether you're looking at AM or PM, for example. Now finally, there is a beautiful polished and applied Sinn logo, as well as the notation Frankfurt am Main, the location of the company, an upscale flourish that I do appreciate on this watch that's otherwise utilitarian but nicely finished in its details. Sinn does go above and beyond, and that includes the specification of the movement. Now, you can see that it's principally machine finished. You could see there are stripes across the winding mass. We're not going to call them Côte de Genève because we're in Germany. We're in Frankfurt. You'll note perlage as well as blued screws and polished surfaces for certain mechanisms. For example, the high polish about the cam system that actuates the chronograph. Now what I also want to emphasize is that this is a Valjoux 7751, 25 joules, 42 to 44 hours of power reserve, beats weight at 28,800 vibrations per hour. It does feature hacking or stop seconds, so you can set it precisely, and it is a very tough unidirectional winding movement. But what really bears emphasis is that it's not a basic grade. When you hack the balance, you'll actually see that it is a higher grade balance of the type typically used in the top two grades of 7750 as delivered by ETA. The top two grades are, appropriately enough, top and chronometer, and the balance in this watch is of that caliber. So we're not talking a bargain basement entry-level ETA here. We are talking one of the better variants available, regulated and adjusted in-house by Sinn. Now finally, the dial itself has explosive luminescence, and we're going to see that in just a moment. But aside from the luminescence, note the legibility of the white print on the beautiful forest green backdrop. This is one of the most attractive watches you're going to find in the oversized pure tool watch class, and a lot of that comes down to the beautiful tegimented or face-hardened stainless steel in tandem with that gorgeous forest green dial. Now this is a watch that's memorable, handsome, and even if you're not a hunter, beautifully romantic with its fully loomed moon phase, and quite practical with its triple calendar and its chronograph functions. You can see and you can purchase this one on our website. Okay, and now we're looking at the Sinn Hunting Watch, reference 3006. You can see right on top of the little T-shaped pedestal at 6 o'clock, the fully luminescent moon phase used to gauge when enough ambient nocturnal light is available to hunt in Germany, because once again, in Germany, you're not allowed to hunt at night with artificial light. You hunt by the light of the moon. See and own this one on our website.